This video is going to show you how to add a portlet to any of your pages. So what we're looking at right now is the typical default screen when you first open courseware and start creating a course. You'll have on the left hand side pages already created for you, which is the attendance, collaboration, course information, coursework, gradebook, main page, and syllabus. And through default, we always start on the main page, which has been selected as the main page, and that's the page that we're looking at right here. On that page, you can see that it's broken into two columns, and on one column is a portlet called About This Course, and on the other column there is Calendar and Announcements. Now we can move these portlets around inside these two columns, and we can also change the look of this page so it's not two columns. We can make it three columns, or we can make it two columns with one column being larger than another, or we can even make it just as one huge screen. And when we're inside the system, I'm going to show you where we can do this. So for right now, we're just going to talk about changing this particular page, which is the main page. So we're going to add a portlet. We're going to add two. We're going to add bookmarks, and we're going to add handouts. So you move over to the right hand side, you'll see a little hyperlink for Edit Page. Click that on, and you'll come to a new screen, and this screen is called Customize Page, and it's whatever page you happen to be on. In this case, we're on the main page, as you can see, the main page. And there's four tabs. The tabs are Properties, Content, Layout, and Permissions, and we're going to go over all four. Now inside the Properties page, you have the ability to change the title of that page. Because the program has all these default little pages, and main page is one of the default names, you can change that to say whatever best suits your courseware. So in this case, I'm just going to change it to Introduction. And press Save. As soon as you do, you can see up here that now I'm customizing page Introduction because the title changed. Next, I'm going to go over to Content. And in this tab, that's where you can add your portlets. As I said, we're going to add bookmarks and we're going to add handouts. So we now move down here to the bottom of the screen, and you can see Add a Portlet. Select it. And the next page will just bring you up a list of all the portlets we have the ability to add to our courseware. In this case, they're all in alphabetical order. In this case, I'm going to Bookmarks. I can check it. And when I do, it allows me to actually grab bookmarks and possibly even change its name, which I'm going to do. And the reason I'm going to change its name is just like I was saying about main page. The programmers, when they developed the system, they titled things by very generic names. And in many ways, it's just to sort of give you a hint of what that portlet can possibly do. So for bookmarks, it allows us to make hyperlinks to readings or other little places that you can place things. So for me, I'm just going to change this to Extra Info. That way, if I add some hyperlinks to this, people will know it's just extra info I want them to be able to see. So I'm going to add the portlet to the page, and when I do, you can see it's right here. It is the Bookmarks portlet, which I have changed to read as Extra Info. And if I wanted to change the name back to Bookmarks, I could just select the pencil and it'll come up, and I can just change it back to Bookmarks, which I really don't want to do, so I'm going to leave it as Extra Info. Okay, now I'm going to add another portlet. For this one, I'm adding the Handouts portlet, just down here. Same thing, it's coming up, it's allowing me to have the option to change its name, which I'm going to do. I'm going to call it Checklists. Because handouts can be any type of document. It can be PowerPoint or Excel or Word, any type of document. And a lot of times we're giving it to students, but we're not necessarily just giving it as a handout. It has a specific job or task you want it to do. And in this case, maybe you have a checklist and you want them to go through the checklist and make sure that they do every step within it, and you have several of them. So you want to really be specific and say, yes, this little chunk of portlet information is all your checklist. So we'll add that to the page, and as you can see, now we have our bookmarks and our handouts added, titled Extra Info and Checklists. Now we're going to go to the layout so we can determine where we want to place them on our screen. Okay. So here we have options to change the screen style. The first one is just a main page, no columns. So you can just keep placing your portlets one after the other. Our default one is number 2, where they're evenly divided columns. Our next one is a 2 with one with an extra wide on the left hand side, a very wide column, and then a narrower column to the right. This page is 3 evenly drawn columns. This one is 3 with only one really wide and the other 2 narrow. And lastly, you can have a very wide screen in the middle with the 2 narrow ones on the left and right hand side. For now, I'm just going to stick with the 2 even columns. And as we go down, we can see that we have added our extra info and our checklists, and they by default went into the left hand column. And over on the right, you can see where calendar announcements are. If we want to add the checklist and move it over to the right hand column, all we have to do is select checklist, and it'll come blue. And we just move over and put our mouse into the right hand column, or the column we would like checklist to be, and we press it, and then it automatically moves over. We can also move these up and down, so if we want calendar to be lower, we can just select it and press the up and down arrows, and it'll move your calendar or your whichever portlet you choose up and down. When we're done, we press save. And then now your options have been saved. Lastly, we can go to permissions. And in permissions, this is where we can select who we want to have roles inside this particular page. For this, I do want students to be able to view it, and I do want faculty to be able to view it. When you're done, you just press exit. And now we're back to our main screen, and as you can see, there's our checklist, which I have added. Down here there's the extra info, which we have added, and of course calendar is now at the bottom of the screen because we moved it. And if you look over on the left hand side, I no longer have a tab for main page, I have a tab for introduction.